Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast, presented to you by Music Never Stopped. Today is Thursday, November 20th, and today on the podcast we have Andrew from the Grilled Cheese Incident.
Well, we're all jammed up and we're ready to blast. It's time for Clint Chloe's Music Podcast.
Good morning, fools. Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast. I'm your host, Clint Dotson.
I'm your co-host, Chloe.
Oh, you always like doing that, huh? We are finally back home after another
really
long weekend,
Yeah.
but really a long, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, month,
Long month. Long month. We have nothing else really in the books.
till Christmas at least.
Yeah. Thank goodness, because I need a break.
I know it's been busy, but we're picking up here with the podcast. We got some really good interviews. I had a good one yesterday. Oh, well, the one yesterday is the one that you guys are here today.
And a really nice one today that you did.
And then two big ones tomorrow,
Ooh.
one Monday, the one day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So some fun ones coming up. Oh, another one Tuesday next week.
There's definitely a good handful coming.
But today is Andrew with the grilled cheese incident.
Aw.
He hit me up at Halloween. Hey man, love what you're doing. Come check out Grilled Cheese Incident. Got to talking. He was a really cool dude. His motivation behind it kind of really caught me. And for the people who listen to the podcast, I've been talking about sandwiches a lot
I
lately.
love sandwiches.
So I thought it was kind of a perfect segue at Halloween, sandwiches, music. And I really enjoyed our conversation. He was a really cool dude.
He was very sweet. Talking with him at Halloween. Yeah, it was just really nice. And I know you kind of got a bit into the sobriety part of it for him, and I just think I've kind of been playing with the idea of what I want to do further on in life, and what he's doing kind of like shining a little light onto what I think I might want to do, which is a really nice feeling. And he probably won't ever know that. Maybe if you're listening to this bit, you'll know, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was really nice talking to him. He's a very nice guy.
And no errors today in the podcast. I know we're kind of all over the place Thursday with the delay on Phil and Bo and then no video on Theron. So I apologize for that. Every day when I do the podcast, I'm always like, fuck, what if I mess something up? What if I mess something up? And I didn't. I haven't until then.
Manager was out of town, didn't get to set, or not out of town, I was
At
at
work.
work, so I didn't get to hit the record button. It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
At least
And
it.
it was just the video, so no big deal.
Yeah, imagine if it was the audio.
Yeah, that would suck.
That would have sucked ass, because that was a really nice interview with
It
them.
was, yeah,
I
it
liked
was
that
cool.
one. They were very nice. I wish that I was here a bit sooner to kind of actually get to
They'll
hang
be
out with a
back.
jam.
They'll be back.
They were very nice people. They were playing all our instruments, all two of them.
Yeah. Well, I was playing mine. They were playing the bass.
Oh, funky boy.
I was just hitting two chords really, but
That's all you need.
yeah, pretty much. That's what I learned from that day.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, we're gonna have a pretty extensive Chloe's Corner in the back end today, so we can probably wrap it up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yep.
Alrighty, here we go, guys. Andrew from the Grilled Cheese Incident.
Honey, you're listening to some all jammed up.
To just relax. There was nobody there. The whole park was empty. There was one other RV there, aside from the people who lived there.
People live at Universal?
No, at Swanee.
Oh,
Went back to
okay.
Swanee for a day, did a kayak trip, rented a golf cart for the day, and had the whole place to ourselves.
Nice. Best boss ever, man.
It's a very peaceful place there with nobody there.
I've always wondered that. I've always thought like this, even like one of the smaller festivals. Like I've done Tipper and Friends, but I'm thinking like the Sewanee Roots one. Like even those ones got to be like such a different vibe than Halloween.
Yeah, and Roots used to be a little bigger. I guess this year it was a little bigger because they had OTO there.
Okay.
But we missed it in favor of Grizz 7 Stars.
Yeah. Okay.
But they used to have, like, Greg Allman played there one year. Like, it used to be closer to 7,000 people. Now it's about 3.
And when you go to these festivals, like for work, how much music are you seeing? Because I know one night you snuck out for string cheese. 'Cause I came to say what's up to you, and you were.
We had some fun this weekend. You know, we've got a really great crew, especially towards the end of the year. I'll maybe talk a bit later about sobriety and stuff, but being on top of our shit and having good people around has allowed us to get out and see more music.
Yeah.
Also kind of comes down to the layout of the festival, and Sewanee is great for that. Some other shows, sure, we could go see music, but it's way over there. And then other shows, it's way over there and it's excision. And, you know,
It's a little
there
much.
was a time and a place for that, but not really. I'm not walking too far to see that anymore.
Yeah, I think I saw them at like the Ritz in Tampa a few years back, and I got there and I was like, all right, guys, this is a little intense for me.
Yeah, we still do a good deal of EDM, predominantly EDM festivals. Lost Lands is a different animal, for sure.
Is that the one in Ohio?
Yeah, all the
Okay.
dinosaurs, and it's just like rhythm music, I guess. I don't really know all the subgenres, but it's just loud and repetitive, and it's a wild crowd. But at 70,000 people, we were open for 6 days for 24 hours.
And how many people are on the crew?
We had like 16 or 18, including us,
Jeez.
because
And
we
us is
had
you
like,
and your wife? Are you married?
yeah, we're married.
Okay.
And as of the past, this is our second season as business partners, but she's been around since the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we have been rolling already, but before we
Okay.
get too in, I want just take a second you to introduce yourself so people know who you are.
For sure. My name's Andrew. I own the Grilled Cheese Incident with my wife, Kat. We're based out of Athens, Georgia. Next year will be our 10th year touring festivals, mostly in the Southeast, but East Coast more generally, and a little bit out west. Maybe you've seen us, maybe you've had a sandwich, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Now, yeah. So I guess before we get like too much into depth about the grilled cheese, I just kind of want to get to know you a little bit. You have always been from Georgia area?
I grew up in Michigan.
Okay.
I moved to Georgia to start a PhD in archaeology.
Okay.
After other food trucky things weren't quite working out in Michigan with friends and pseudo business partners, we split ways and went into different programs. I came down here, and kind of as a farewell thing, we went to Electric Forest that summer. And I kind of saw the volume that we did there and saw some potential there. Dropped out of the PhD in the spring, and, things went from there. But I guess going further back, I grew up in a Greek American family. Food was always really important. Food was always something I saw even as a kid as like bringing people together. I learned how to cook from my mother, from my grandmother, holidays and even not holidays. And then, starting to work in friends of families' restaurants and helping the church with the Greek festival and that kind of stuff. In the same light, I grew up in a very musical family. My grandfather played in the Army Swing Band in World War II.
Okay.
My father was the choir director at church and was the music director for a lot of musical theater I did as a kid. His sister is a music teacher, married to a world traveling jazz pianist. So it's kind of like two big parts of my identity, I think, growing up is music and food. This kind of all fell into place somehow. I think I knew as a kid I wanted to do something different, work for myself, or maybe not work for myself, but knew I didn't want a traditional 9 to 5 type thing. That's what I saw my father doing growing up. So I dropped out of the PhD, worked again with these guys for another year or so on little food trucks. We did a couple festivals. It wasn't working out.
And this was independent of the grilled cheese incident, these food
Correct.
trucks.
This was
Okay.
before. We did grilled cheese. We did salads.
Okay.
And so that didn't quite work out. And then I started working for some other people. I worked for a guy doing tacos. And this is festival work. I did tacos. I did coffee. Probably a couple others in there. But after sort of parting ways with those friends, worked for a couple vendors for 2 summers, doing, probably 40 festivals in those 2 years. Learning a lot about what to do, what not to do in terms of a business, but also having a good bit of fun,
Yeah.
as just an employee, no responsibility really there. And got to see a lot of the country, got to see a lot of different types of festivals after, the first festival we did in 2014, first festival I ever went to, I was working, was Electric Forest. And it was kind of like, what is this place? I knew live
Yeah.
music, I knew jam music, I knew counterculture. But I'd never been to a festival. I was like, whoa, and kind of saw a potential of wait, you can make a living out here doing this, and have fun. So it kind of was inspiring to me there. But at the time, it was really just a place to have fun and also be work. It's turned into a lot more than that, of course.
And it sounds like you kind of gravitate more towards the jam music now than the EDM, but Electric Forest was your first festival. Were you into like the jam band world before that at all?
Um, a little bit, but no, not really.
Okay.
You know, as a teenager, I was into punk music and ska, but also kind of grew up on classic rock, gravitating towards southern rock like the Allman Brothers and stuff like that. As far as touring jam bands, no, not really until Electric Forest, you know.
And who was playing there when you first saw them? That's not a festival I'm all that familiar
I
with. I
mean,
always thought it was more EDM.
String
String
Cheese
Cheese.
has been playing there since the beginning, since the
Okay.
Rothbury days. I think that year it was like them and like Sound Tribe and some like a band like Sound Tribe that's blending that electronic and jam thing that I heard jam music, I'd heard electronic music, but that place really opened my eyes to a lot of new jam music. And it's not really that much anymore. String Cheese still plays it, but it's now a pretty strictly electronic festival.
Yeah.
And we still do that show, but yeah, not so much my scene anymore. Some of it I can still really get down to, and some of it is just too much and too loud, and maybe I'm
Yeah.
just getting old. I don't know.
I feel I did. I can do like the Halloween this year, for example, was like Jade Cicada, Tapey, and
Yeah,
after by the time Mersive got on, I was like, all right, that's enough for me tonight. I could do the
yeah.
first two guys, but after that, it gets a little intense.
No, and I really appreciate Halloween as a festival out there that still is a blend of a lot of musical
Hmm.
worlds. You don't see that as much anymore. Maybe Bonnaroo. I haven't been to Bonnaroo in a few years, but a lot of festivals are kind of going like we do a lot of bluegrass shows. You know, there's no sprinkling of EDM in a bluegrass show.
Yeah.
Just like there's, well, at Halloween, there's some bluegrass at
Hmm.
Halloween, and there's some bigger names like Parcels, touring bands, and some jam bands, some up and coming bands, and everywhere in between. So we
Yeah.
like it there.
So I see the Grateful Dead poster in the back, the string cheese shirt. What's the like? So it's kind of your like rankings now. Like is string cheese number one for you, or how's it kind of look like for what
Uh,
you're,
in terms of how many shows I've seen, is
or just
definitely
like what you love the
String Cheese.
most?
Um, Definitely falling more into bluegrass.
Okay.
I heard some of that growing up, but maybe not as much if I had grown up in the South. We started doing Delfest years ago. I'll blame Del McCurry for getting me into bluegrass. In 2017 was our first Delfest, and I think actually Billy Strings played that bluegrass, and I had to miss it for a
Hmm.
wedding. Had to drive the truck into Long Island in the middle of a festival. Um, what are my rankings?
Such
I
a
think
loaded question.
it
I
is a
know.
loaded question. The Grateful Dead kind of started it and created the scene that we live
Yeah.
in, the scene that I have a business in and we work in, and have a great family in. Um, so that's like a special spot, but I don't really consider, say, Dead and Company and the later iterations as the Grateful Dead. They're still playing the music. It's still the same family, but it's not the band, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Hmm.
I love String Cheese. We love a lot of the funky stuff, Carl Denson, the Tiny Universe, Lettuce. Um, we've fed the Lettuce guys a handful of times. Daniel Donato's big on my list right now.
Yeah. Did you
We've
go
seen
to
him a
their
lot the
show at
past couple of
Halloween?
years. Yeah, we were there for bits and pieces of it, most of it. We're
That
getting
was,
pretty
I think,
tired
the
by
best show of
Sunday.
the weekend.
Yeah,
They were in, like, they
yeah,
played for 2.5 hours. They didn't stop. It was
I know.
crazy.
I know. I
Insane.
thought it was a typo and or one of those. Was that the night when the time changed, or was that Saturday?
That was Saturday, but
That
they
was
did
Saturday.
have to. I was told that they were supposed to play till like 10:45 or whatever it was, but they were like curfew, curfew, like 10:30, and had to just pretty much abruptly stop.
I saw some other people complaining about that. That
Yeah,
multiple sets were cut about 15 minutes early last or whatever 2 weeks ago. But yeah, they're
it
cool.
was good enough for me.
We got to meet Daniel this summer at Northlands.
Nice.
We also do all of their production catering and artist catering.
Oh, cool.
So we have the grilled cheese incident in the show field, and then have a separate kitchen set up where we're getting there 3-4 days early,
Nice.
doing a lot more than grilled cheese, and so that's a lot of fun. The past couple years, going back to my heritage and cooking Greek food, doing curries, doing Thai food, doing
Hmm.
burgers, and doing something different. And it's a logistical thing. It's a bit of a headache, but it's a learning curve, and it's opening some other doors there too. So
So when you're feeding the artist, you're not just doing grilled cheeses, you're kind of doing a little bit of everything.
correct. And I think we
Okay.
almost snuck it in for one lunch with tomato soup, but we didn't end up doing it. So you know those big show days, it's close to 300 people for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Production, and then all the artists and the artists like their crew that come with them. And Yeah, that was a bit of a gauntlet run doing that. And the show ended on Sunday. We had to feed everybody Monday, and we got in the truck at 9 p.m. on Monday and got to Michigan. This is from New Hampshire. We got to Michigan for Electric Forest on Tuesday afternoon. We just drove through the night, 16 hours, 17 hours.
Yeah, let's get into some of the logistics of just like being at. So you get to Halloween on what day?
We got there Monday morning.
And you're just prepping from like Monday to Thursday,
Well,
pretty much. Like, what's it look like?
they changed Hulu. Usually we get to Halloween on Tuesday. They changed stuff up this year by not letting patrons get there as
Mm-hmm.
early. Like people used to get there as early as the week before to hold
Yeah.
space for their people. This year, the earliest you could show up was Tuesday. So I think to help with traffic, they brought all our vendors in on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We were contracted to be open Tuesday. We didn't really sell a lot of food Tuesday, so we're open. We have a few things available on the menu, but we're still prepping, cleaning, and settling in and trying to get some rest. And like those early days are really kind of important to me, and I think a lot of our crew, in that that's the time we and all of our other friends with other vendors get to hang out.
Yeah.
Um, get there, get the booth built, and sometimes in the middle of summer that's like hot work. It's tough. The build is tough. Unloading trucks and unloading food at the bigger shows, you're cross loading dozens or hundreds of boxes, and then getting to relax that night and hang out and see people you maybe haven't seen in a year or months, or you saw them a week ago 5 states away, and
Yeah.
now you're here again. Yeah.
Yeah, so I work in the food industry. I work at like a brunch spot, 7:30 to 3:30, 5 days a week, and then I work at a
Yeah.
sports bar a few nights a week too. And I'm a cook, and that's why I was kind of so intrigued to have this conversation. I'm like, we're feeding a couple hundred people for service, 6 hours for the brunch, and like there's a lot of
Hmm.
prep that goes into that, and like, you know, keeping we have the luxury of having a big walk-in, having a freezer, and it's
Hmm.
still hard to make sure like stuff doesn't go bad and where everything's getting rotated correctly. Like,
Yeah.
how difficult is that for you guys where like you don't I don't know, I could be wrong, but it seems like you probably don't have the luxury of a walk-in and all these things at
Well, we do.
Halloween. Okay.
But not everybody does. But yeah, it's sorry, I don't know if I cut you off if you had
No,
something
you're
else to
good.
say there. We in 2019 I built a new trailer, and I had it from the shop built with the side door all the way closest to the wheels, and I put an interior wall, and insulated it and built a walk-in on the front half of the trailer.
Okay.
While traveling, this is extra storage. However, it still can run on a generator system when we're driving, which also allows us to, instead of relying on Cisco or US Foods or someone to drop off product, we can shop along the way. Mainly Restaurant Depot is a big wholesale supplier around the country.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up exactly what we need, check produce to make sure it's good, and ride into the show with the generator powering the walk-in. Yeah, it's tough. And the bigger the show, the harder it is. Just the sheer volume of things, but ordering, trying to you can't be
Gauge.
caught without it and caught
Yeah.
with your pants down. And if you run out early, you're leaving money on the table. You have unhappy customers who maybe Sunday night wanted to come in and see you one last time. But these contracts operate on commissions. And I won't get into details there, but if you stop selling 3 hours early and they're not getting their cut of what you're selling, you're not coming back next year. So
Yeah.
trying not to overorder, but also you can't afford to run out. So there's some differences, I think, between the bigger shows that we do, where we're doing 1,000 orders a day versus a couple hundred orders a day. And it's just shorter menu at those bigger shows, not as much made to order. It's kind of, sandbagged and made, and it's hot there and ready as the register. At Electric Force, we have 4 registers running.
Yeah.
And so as soon as they're ordering, they're getting their food. Whereas at Halloween, we've got 15 sandwiches on the menu. You get to talk to the customer a little bit. they want to hold the tomato or sub this or that, we can make it how they want. And it's kind of like some of our more, like the Eat a Peach always runs out first. It's a whipped goat cheese spread, candied peaches, pecans, honey, and we start with a certain amount of goat cheese, and when that's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
And some shows, if we're really running out, we're down to 2 or 3 sandwiches Sunday night. But my wife and I are both Serve Safe Manager certified. We've done that for years. We take that really seriously. I know a lot of people are nervous about eating on lot more generally, but even at festivals where we get health inspected everywhere we go. So we have the manager certification, and a lot of our crew have just the standard food handler certifications as well.
Nice.
Regarding rotating and putting that use first sticker on something, dry goods and stuff like that.
Yeah, you mentioned on lot. On lot can be you kind of rolling the dice sometimes out there.
Yeah.
So I want to just hear about like we kind of got a little bit about the logistics of it and the origin of it of your food festival career, but now just like the grilled cheese incident, like how'd you get there and like what evolution have you seen over the past few years doing it?
Man, so we started in 2016. We started this LLC. At the time, I had just started dating my now wife. And I don't know if I tell her this or if I've ever told her this, but, I deal with some personal stuff of not feeling good enough sometimes and this kind of thing. And I'm like, am I really going to start a legal entity with the state of Georgia and like do the damn thing? And she definitely encouraged me all the way. And we'd only known each other a couple months. So thanks, hon. But, that first year we got 2 shows. We did Firefly in Delaware, which actually is a really big show, or was a big show, 60, 70,000 people, 80, I don't know. And I used my daily driver, my Jeep Liberty, and I bought a 12-foot single axle trailer. Went and bought out the rest of the equipment from our old friends that we were working with in Michigan, and had folding plastic tables and paninis, and we're probably in over our head a little bit, but we made it happen. We
Yeah.
did that, and we did Backwoods when it was in Oklahoma. It later moved to Mulberry Mountain for a handful of years. So we did 2 shows that first year while working 2, sometimes 3 other kitchen jobs that some were more flexible than others in terms of me disappearing for a week. Driving Uber as Uber was young and a little more lucrative for the driver than it might be now. Balancing other schedules. Kat was beginning work on her master's and working for the university here. So staying busy and doing 2 shows. And now this year we just finished 13 shows, I think, this year. So along the way, I don't know, taking a lot of gamble, and I guess those first years taking what we could get, and putting a lot of careful thought into whether it was going to work or not for the sake of we need to make money, but I guess in the early years we couldn't afford not to,
Yeah.
and so I don't know, there's this balance of like taking a lot of contracts and then you end up breaking even at a handful or losing money at some of them. And I think that's been the difference of working a ton of shows or working a dozen shows for us. Being pretty careful, trying to work with the production and the vending team as like, okay, well, how many people are there? How many vendors are there? There's a certain ratio of attendees to vendors that makes sense. But that also varies if we're selling grilled cheese and we're between burgers and pizza and like a bunch of American foods,
Yeah.
comfort foods, versus if we're there's always going to be pizza, and we kind of are a different version of pizza, I jokingly say, but asking questions to make sure we're not going to get in a tough spot and carefully picking shows. And then at those shows that we want to be at, maintaining our image, maintaining our brand, and maintaining relationships to make sure we're coming back. Shows like Delfest, where Del McCurry and his family have a big hand in the festival. Shows like Halloween, where our vending coordinators there do all the vending coordinating for the park. And so maintaining those relationships that, your product and your booth and your image, but also you as a person, are easy to work with, and they're happy to have you back and do it again. It's cool to sit back now looking at our 10th year anniversary tour next year. Many of these shows we've done for 7 or 8 years, and then also thinking about other our next steps.
Hmm.
We're thinking more seriously about opening a restaurant here in Georgia. It's a great college town, be a great spot for it, especially with the bar crowd late night. Do we do that? Do we do a food truck? And where do we go from here? Because we've got a good group of people that are working hard for us and ready to help us take it to the next step.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm in the food service and I've worked for some good restaurants. I've worked for some help open a breakfast food truck. And
Hmm.
kind of the theme with all these, like the owners that I've got to know is, pick one thing and be really good at it is kind of like the theme that I've gotten from working with these people. And you guys chose sandwiches. If you've
Hmm.
listened to any of the podcasts the past few weeks, I've kind of been like harping on sandwiches and how much I
I
love
have.
sandwiches. So it kind of works out perfect. But I want to know, like, why did you decide to make your thing sandwiches?
Well, this is funny. My brother brought this up maybe at our wedding, maybe right before our wedding a handful of years ago. That it reminded me that when I was a kid, I would get off the bus, and I remember it now, but I would get off the bus and I had 7 minutes before Pokemon came on. And
Okay.
I would kick my shoes because I'd get yelled at if I didn't kick my shoes off. And I would run into the kitchen, backpack still on my shoulders, and put the pan on the flame to get ready for grilled cheese, to get that pan warming up
Yep.
slowly. And I would make just American cheese, grilled cheese, and I could have it ready with a couple pickles on the plate in time for the end of the theme song for Pokemon. As I got older, this was now a double decker grilled cheese and so on. But I don't know. It's classic. It's hard to screw up, but there's just like this endless possibility with it. At shows like Halloween, we've got 15 sandwiches on the menu, and some of these come and go, and some of them stay, and so I guess it started very young, and we've improved on it and got really crazy with it, and also have our staples.
Do you think it's one of those things where, like, you're like making, as a kid, you're making these sandwiches and making steps towards what you're doing now, but you don't even realize it, like, in the time. But then, like, when you get to that point, you're like, oh shit, this is kind of what I've been doing my whole life. I'm supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, did I think about it then? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's really cool to think about it now. Um, I don't know. I love to eat. I like making food for friends and for family. Like, I mentioned, it's kind of a way to connect people. My, it's funny, my PhD that I was going to do here at Georgia was about food and St. Augustine and early Spanish people and
Okay.
native people, interacting around food, native women cooking with old world animals and creating this Creole diet. But so I don't know. I guess food's always been there, and it's cool to look back at it now. But along the way, did I think about it much? Not really. It was kind of just on to the next.
Yeah, and we talked about some of the variety of sandwiches at Halloween, and I think
Hmm.
I got the Billy Goat one and the pig pen, and then
Hmm.
I got like Maricold, the big ass one. What's that one called?
Can I swear on your show?
Yeah.
It's the Fuck Me Up fam.
Yeah, so I'm
Which
walking back to my campsite after Daniel Donato, and this dude's like, "Yo, I just bought this sandwich. I can't eat it. Do you want it?" And I was just like, "Sure, whatever." So my girlfriend and I took it back to camp, and we started eating it, and we were like, "Okay, there's macaroni on this, there's banana bread on this. So can you kind of tell us all what was on it? Because we don't really
okay,
know."
banana bread was Sunday. This this was an idea that we got because people kept saying we need like a challenge item.
Hmm.
Like Man versus Food, or Guy Fieri goes and eats like some crazy burger. Um, and I was like, well, let's do like a Scooby Doo sandwich. And now we redid our menu this year, and it's got the
Hmm.
little Shaggy and Scooby with this huge sandwich. This is, I think the menu reads an off menu ingredient, a little bit of everything, kitchen sink, chef choice, triple decker sandwich. So we basically make two unique sandwiches, and as they're closer to done, add some more stuff. And now you've got, four pieces of bread, triple grilled cheesiness, sliced, garnished, sometimes with a burnt Parmesan crisp or something like that. And so you know, we always, I hate Walmart, but we rely on Walmart the way we travel. And so it's always like, well, we need some groceries for us, and we're in different aisles, and we pick different things. Something that's almost always on there is hot Cheetos. The banana bread we had, because Kat always makes banana bread, and even before she was traveling with us, I would always have banana bread.
Mm.
Mozzarella sticks, which we don't sell, but there's always a bag in the freezer. So that's a hack. If anyone's listening, you might talk us into selling you some mozzarella sticks. Uh, and I don't know, it gets people excited. It's cost wise the same as buying three sandwiches, two and a half sandwiches, but definitely you need a friend to eat it, or
Yeah.
maybe two or three friends. It's We started that as a joke at Gem and Jam 2020, right before COVID, and we were selling like 5 or 10 a day. I'm like, well,
They're ridiculous.
I need to make a real menu piece for this, and that's kind of how all most of them started as a handwritten thing on cardboard.
Yeah.
If they've stuck around long enough, they've got a real menu piece now.
What's your favorite one?
Pig pen,
That was the,
ham, ham Swiss, bacon, brown
yep.
mustard, caramelized red onion.
Yeah, that was
Um,
good.
that's what I make for myself. I love a ham and Swiss. And one day, Kat was like, "Why don't you sell this?" I was like, "You're right." And
How'd you
it's
settle on the name Pigpen for that one?
because of pig pen, of course. And it's two pieces of pig. It's a ham and a
Ah,
bacon. And
duh.
Pigpen would be my favorite member of the Grateful Dead, for his blues influence on the band, and actually, some of our menus have little cartoons, and he was the first. There was a day when the menu, he was the only little picture on the menu, was that
Okay,
silhouette picture of him in his cowboy hat, his rain hat.
nice. I want to on like a more serious note too, and we kind of alluded to in the beginning. You're completely sober now. When we spoke at Halloween, you kind of mentioned that being able to provide your team with like a place to work and have support and just like kind of be there for them, I
hmm
thought was really cool. Um, how long have you been sober for now?
End of September was 2 years for me
Okay.
from everything but caffeine and sugar. Um, you know, it's been a journey. The first year was really tough. The second year has been really eye-opening.
Hmm.
Um, I look around at a lot of the other vendors that are out there, my age or older, and a lot of those who I look up to um, are sober. And in this journey, I've reconnected with people, really been able to see the community that's been around me the whole time, um, and meet some older heads who've got 20 plus years of sobriety under their belt and a lot of wisdom and experience there. Um, it's also cool to have that place for our people and see the influence on them.
Hmm.
Um, whether that's just them consuming a little less, or some of them have taken steps towards sobriety for what it means for them, at least certain substances and things like that. So um, it's definitely the way to run a business. Festivals are a vacation and a fun world for most people, more. And, 10 of your favorite bands are playing, and you're having a great time. As a work environment, it's just full of distractions
Yeah.
and a lot of things that could detract from your business, whatever that is. So, um, yeah, it's been a blessing. It's changed my life. I owe a lot of support. I think there are a lot of, credit to the different yellow balloon groups that are out there, specifically the Jellyfish, which are at Halloween, the String Cheese affiliated group,
Hmm.
because 2 years ago was 30 days sober at Halloween. Um, the sober group at Floyd Fest, one of our favorite shows in Virginia, is also a place where I've connected with a lot of people. Really felt surrounded by my people and people doing what they needed to do to enjoy life. So,
Was there like a moment where you're like, I need to do this, or was it kind of like, if I want to take this business seriously, like I really need to just like get my shit together?
um, there was a moment, but it's on a more personal note. As far as the business goes, it was a gradual thing
Hmm.
that was growing and getting worse, and unable to sort of put boundaries on certain things, and it kind of started taking a hold of me, I guess, as the business started seeing more success, kind of 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and I wasn't needed around the booth as much.
Yeah.
And so, if they've got it under control, I was filling my time, I was needed less and less, and I was consuming more and more to not be bored,
Yeah.
which is a crazy thing to say at a music festival, right? But so yeah, a lot has changed, and it's put us in that position to think about what is the next step. My wife is also sober too, so
Okay.
is that a restaurant, or what are we doing next? I guess I never really stopped much to think about that until the past couple of years. So
Yeah, and I'm not sober. I like to party
yeah,
like everybody else, and
sure,
this was my fourth Halloween, but my first Halloween being like media pass and having to work while I was there,
yeah,
and just even seeing like how I experienced Halloween this year was different than other years. Because like you said, like you wake up at the campsite, you eat your food, and it's like, what are we gonna get into? And
yeah,
now it's like this year I was kind of like, all right, I need to go to the media tent for 3 hours, connect to Wi-Fi, edit these interviews I did, go
hmm
set up on at the playground and do like the festival pod that I did.
hmm
So it is I definitely get where you're coming from because I think the older you get, you're like, I probably got to stop this eventually.
yeah,
But I totally get it. But I guess like another question I have is I'm new to this podcast world and being involved as more than a fan in like the
okay.
music industry and seeing you someone who had success taking risk and kind of just trusting yourself. Like what advice do you have for people out there who are trying to just like really follow their dreams and make a business, make a career out of it?
I mean, part of me wishes I'd been sober a lot longer ago. From a focus standpoint, and like putting my full mind towards things, and but also from a financial standpoint, if you have a moderate weed habit and you go to the bar every other week, a couple hundred, 300-400 bucks a month is, thousands every year. I started this business with less than that. Um, so I think it would be a great way to start a business.
Yeah.
To step back from, you know, consuming and save that money and put it towards something that you want to do. I think for me, it was stumbling into a festival that was like going through a cabinet into Narnia, like this crazy world with all these nice people and the music and the colors and everything. I'm like, wait, I can do this, and just kind of, I don't know, believing in yourself.
Hmm.
You know, and it's just a grind. Um, working for yourself, as I'm sure you're learning with the podcast thing, like you're kind of on call all the time. Something Kat, who's now a business owner only of 2 years, and I've been doing this for a while, she's having trouble at times with like me looking at an email at 9 p.m. on a Sunday. And it's like, well, we want the job, we kind of have to respond. And
Yeah.
so figuring out where to set those boundaries and where to let things slide. Um, I don't know. I didn't go to business school or take any marketing classes or do anything like that. So I'm kind of figuring it all out as I've gone along. But I guess if I can do it, you can do it too. Anyone out there listening?
Cool, man. Um, to just end here on a lighter, fun note, best festival like to vend at. Like every year, it's like I can't wait for that one. Which one's your favorite?
Man. Well, personally, I really like Gem and Jam because for
Okay.
us that means my wife and I do a lot of rock and crystal digging and rock hounding and prospecting and stuff. So that's part of a 3 week long gem show. That's the second largest in the world in
Hmm.
Tucson.
And it,
The festival is just one weekend, but for us, it's a whole trip. And the first year, it was a pilgrimage for us in a Jeep pulling a trailer going 2,000 miles, blowing tires in the middle of the night in Texas, figuring out a flat tire. So personally, I really like the gems and the jewelry out there and the part of this community that attracts. Um, but I think it's probably Halloween, also because of our love for Halloween, seeing everybody in their costumes, seeing bands on stage in costumes, seeing our crew wearing costumes. It was a little different this year where we were placed on the back side of the road that we're
yeah.
normally on with the main foot traffic. Um, it, well, I won't get into all that, but Halloween is a great place, and we've done a lot of shows at the park over the years, and we also love hanging out there, non-festival weekends. So it's a pretty special show for us. Yeah, Halloween can take the cake, I guess.
Nice. Well, we'll definitely see you there next year too.
Yeah. Yeah,
One
maybe
last thing.
We can do this again there, and I'll show you the walk-in,
Yeah, yeah, there we
the whole
go.
rig.
You mentioned it briefly, and I know we talked about it when we met at Halloween too, but the restaurant, is that like something that, you're planning a date, or is it still just kind of an idea that's in the works?
It's an idea that's more in the works than it has been.
Okay.
We've looked at a couple properties that have come available right downtown in Athens. Some of them are a little out of our price range in terms of the lease they want. How I've always seen it is if we can do the volume we do out of a 20 by 30 foot spot in a field on generator power, that all we really need is like an old bar, something
Yeah.
with barely 20 feet of sidewalk going straight back. Kind of a counter service lunch spot, but probably a liquor license and just beer, no liquor, but just beer and grilled cheese. And our roots, we started with a little more salad. We used to do like a vinaigrette pasta salad with a bunch of veggies. We did a Greek village salad, tomato, onion, cucumber. We did a watermelon and mint and feta salad.
Nice. That's fire.
So in a restaurant, we would probably lean back towards salads and soups a bit, obviously still with the sandwiches being the focus, but having a little more variety there as well. Do we have a date? No. Would we like an investor? I don't know.
Yeah, if we had any investors listening, hit up Andrew.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll see. Might happen soon. We like Athens, fun college town. So
For sure.
might be
Yeah,
here a while.
we just saw Jimmy Buffet at the
Yeah, you were
Georgia
telling us
Theater.
about that.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
Cool.
Cool, man. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything you want to plug?
Anything I want to plug? I don't know. Follow our Instagram. See where we're going next. If you have business ideas or need help with your sobriety journey, feel free to shoot us a message.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're at GCI Tour on Instagram is our main social page.
Cool, Andrew. Well, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thanks, Clint. It was fun.
You just got jammed.
Hey guys, welcome back from that interview with Andrew. Fun one. We really enjoyed that one. Hope you guys did too.
Yeah, that was a very nice one. Very nice guy, like I said in the beginning. I forgot that I'm part of the intros now too. So when we started recording, I figured that was the outro. So I gave a little spoiler in the beginning as to
What was the spoiler you gave?
I mentioned that he had talked
Oh,
a
the
bit on
sobriety.
sobriety.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, a little teaser.
It's
Oh,
all right. It's probably in the description. I haven't made it yet, but it's probably in there.
That's fair. Yeah.
I want to start with, so we're recording this on Tuesday. Have to edit it Wednesday. It takes out Thursday. Tomorrow, or yesterday as you're listening to this, Dogs in a Pile just released a new album. Go listen to it. And if you have Nugs, go listen to their November 15th show in Minnesota. So good. This is quickly becoming a Dogs in a Pile podcast, but
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. We're going to start battling Cam for that place.
but that 116 days on of that show is just so good. They do a Herbie Hancock song. They do Dangers of Rah Rah, which is the downtown song.
Oh, okay.
They do Moby Dick, that song that Goose did, and Joey has a crazy solo in it.
Yeah.
It's a Led Zeppelin song, yeah.
That's sick.
But such a good show. So check out their new album. Check out that show on Nugs, 11:15 in Minnesota. And
Minnesota.
the lady from Sneezy sits in, and she's like a trumpet player, I think,
Nice.
in one of the songs. Yeah, it was a really good. What is that?
Fridge probably. As I'm sitting here in front of you, I've realized you didn't wash off your neck tattoo.
Oh yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, yeah. We had our friend's wedding this week, as you know. They had a tattoo bar, and smack dab in the middle of his throat, Clint has a motorcycle.
Yeah, people that work there were like, "What is that?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then
What
I
do you
just
mean?
forgot.
Someone probably questioned it once. You were like, "What do you want about?" And then no one questioned it again.
Yeah, that
That's
is what it is.
funny.
Oops. So
We have a couple of topics today. I guess we'll get into the serious ones first. It's Thursday, right? Song of the week, baby.
song of the week. I have 3.
Well, you. Okay. Okay, hit me with three.
You can go first.
Okay, so I'm gonna, as we're doing this, I guess actually this came out last Friday. Andy Frasco released a new song with
JJ Gay.
JJ Gray and Mofro called Tumbleweed. You know where Andy Frasco stands. I only listened to half of it to get the idea of it. I like it. I like Frasco. So that's one of mine. Where's my song
What
of
was
the
that one
week?
called so I can write it down?
It is Tumbleweed.
On the playlist.
And then do we alternate? Or should I just say
You can say your other ones.
I have a list of four, so I'm just gonna pick one
So you
more.
laughed at me when I said 3, but you had 4?
Well, I'm keeping these for
Oh,
future.
Okay.
These are ideas. I am gonna plug the boys over at Top House
Okay.
because they play on December 5th in Asheville. I don't remember where. I saw
think
them.
musical.
That sounds like it might be right. Yeah. They have a song, Better Is the End. I really like it. They're kind of a bit more folksy, very funny guys, very into Lord of the Rings. They also have their own podcast, but no need to go over there. Keep listening to ours. But Better Is the End by Top House. That is my actual song of the week. I just had to
Okay.
shout out Frasco in the first one.
So I had 3, and honestly, one's a Hartford song, one's a Doc Watson song.
That's fair.
So, and then one's a new one, Pickety Split,
Oh, yes.
early
Yes.
podcast guest. They were at the All Jammed Up Fest last year. They have a new album they dropped, and I really like the song "Feelin' I Got New" by them. So check that one out. Of course, all these will get added to the podcast or to the playlist. And then Joseph's Dream by John Hartford.
What one was that one?
It's all gonna get better. Na, 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 na. It always gets better before it gets worse.
It's not the one that goes go to G and back to A and then
No. It's
back
the
to
one
D.
that Dogs in a Pile does sometimes.
I probably
We thought
do.
we heard it, and it was like, things get worse before they get better.
I feel like
Dun, 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 dun.
I do know it. What's that song that we were listening to?
At the 7-Eleven.
Oh, it was that
That
one
was
at
that
the
one.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Oh my stars! All right, I'm there. I caught
Yeah,
up
that
with you.
one.
Yeah, that was really good. I like that song.
So that one, and then I have heard Billy Strings play this song a few times, but never like really looked into it. And he played it the other day in, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was "Smoke, Smoke, Smoke That Cigarette," and Doc Watson did it. So I listened to. There's a few other people that did it. I don't know who did it originally, but I like the Doc Watson version the most, so I'm gonna put that one in.
Nice. Hell yeah. I love that.
And then I got to give a quick shout out to Jameis Winston.
Oh, dude, that was my next topic we were gonna go to. We could give a pretty long shout out to Jameis Winston.
So you guys know, football fan, like to gamble in the game sometimes. I kind of taken a break off the gambling, like making bigger bets, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like little small fun bets now. And I made a $10 bet with my buddy this weekend. Baker Mayfield, Jameis Winston, and Trevor Lawrence to all have a rushing touchdown. All 3 happened, and I won $3,000
Biggest payout he's had on a single bet.
ever. I can't imagine I'll ever get more than that.
Tanner said the same. He was like, "This
On
I have."
$10
He
is
was like, "I haven't
crazy.
been paid this much on a bet."
And like it
especially on
wasn't really a
$10.
sweat either. But the Jameis Winston one, we were like, we need the Giants guy to run down to the touchdown and get tackled at the 1, and then a quarterback sneak. And it happened.
And it was exactly that. That was so fun.
I've been texting Tanner, and we're like, I just kind of think I should retire from gambling.
Dude,
Never.
I genuinely believe I had a dream last night. So we watched that game Sunday, obviously. We got home Monday. Yeah, so last night was Monday night when I had a dream that I got. I don't do like lottery tickets. I will have every once in a while make a bet with you. But I had a dream that I went and I got a lottery ticket and I won $10 million. And the disappointment when I woke up this morning and had to go to work. But it was such a fun dream while it lasted.
Brandon's FaceTiming me right now.
Of course he is.
Hopefully that doesn't mess up the camera.
I don't think it will. I think,
Okay. Oh, just go up top.
yeah, I think it'll
Okay.
keep recording. Um, my other topic, um, Eagles molting.
Yeah, so let's tell the people what that
So
is.
who is the one that brought this
Kyle
up to
Busch.
us? Kyle Busch. So Eagles, when they're at about their half-life, again, we don't fact check.
I
When
think we
they're
did look this one up though, and it's real.
when they're at about their half-life, eagles go and seclude themselves for about 6 months. They fly to high peaks in tough terrains.
Make big nests.
They weather the storms, they make big nests, and then they just self mutilate for 6 months. They just beat their beaks into bloody pulps, they chew off all their claws, and they pluck off all their feathers. And then they just wait until it all regenerates. And then they come back stronger, and then they swoop down the mountain, and they fucking are fighting machines.
That's crazy. That's insane.
That's a wild concept. Every time I picture it, you know when Mr. Krabs loses his shell? Mm-hmm. That's what I picture,
I
just
think
sitting
what
at
it
the top
is
of a mountain.
they rip all the feathers off first, and then they rip the.
Their claws, and then they
And then,
bash their
yeah.
beaks.
So they're just like a little worthless nugget
They're
in the
just
mountains.
little worms. Little worms up on a peak.
That's crazy.
I wonder what the, like, mindset is with that.
It's just like a survival instinct. Like they don't. It's nothing to them.
Do you really think it helps all that much?
Yeah, I mean, if he said they live for like a long time, so like they just get weak. Their feathers. The feathers get too heavy. I think what it was, and then
And their beaks, like, overgrow.
their
And
beaks overgrow and their claws become weaker. So it's like to make them regenerate, you have to destroy them.
That's fair. Did you pop in when Sam and I were watching the Golden Eagle videos?
Mm-mm.
They're huge, and
They like pick up deers and shit,
they
right?
picked
Yeah.
up a kid.
A child?
There's a video on YouTube. He swoops down, he picks up a kid, and he takes it for a little bit.
How far?
It like stayed fairly low to the ground. The kid's feet came off the ground, but the bird stayed fairly
Okay,
low
so the
and
kid
maybe
lived.
took it a distance away.
I saw this video one time, like this dude like fucking with monkeys in India,
Don't fuck with monkeys.
and the monkey just came up and ripped his scalp off. Just like grabbed him by the head, and the guy's like skull was like visible.
You watched that?
I didn't know what I was watching. Like it was just like a
Scalpings are something that always made my toes curl.
yeah, it's insane.
Like the thought of degloving.
What is that? I don't even know if I would know what that means.
That's like when you just rips off.
Yeah. All right.
But,
Next topic. So I think a thing we could talk about is the festivals that we're interested in going. So like a little festival preview.
Ooh, yes, Festy preview. Do you have them written down?
Yep, I do.
Nice. I want to peek at them as well.
So Dark Star Jubilee.
Are we going in order of what's happening next?
No, I guess I can do that real quick.
I guess we don't have to.
So the first thing would be Asheville, Billy Strings, 4
Asheville,
days.
all 4 days. Super excited for that. We'll set up on that. Honestly, we have offered our house up to so many people. All of you, it still counts. We want everyone
You
there.
don't gotta say it on this.
Well, you think strangers are going to find out where we live?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's only going to be people that we invited.
So coming up first would be the Mental Awakening Festival.
Nice. I'm super excited for that.
That's Dogs in a Pile, Big Something.
I'm going to pull them up as we speak about them.
Yeah, I can't think.
Last year, that was like Eggy and all them, right?
Yeah, I think Eggy was
Big Something, Dogs in a Pile, Disco,
fire.
Ain't Sisters, Fruit, Mama's Love, Swerve, Tanned. I'm trying to read it, but they got these fucking bubbles floating all around it, telling me who liked it.
Big Something, Dogs in a Pile, Disco, Underground Springhouse, Eight Sisters, Air Show, Fruit, Mama's Love, Copacetic, Swerve, Tanned, Wax Monkey, and Yule.
Wax Monkey.
That is a fire.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. So we'll be at that one. That's the first one, or after Billy. And then after that, we have Viva El Gonzo, but that's kind of like
So that is like our
wish list.
Yeah, what's it called when you like I won't even be able to think of it. But yeah, that's our hopeful.
Yeah, it's like if we come to some money or maybe they want to give
Or
somebody a
if they want
media
to,
pass.
yeah, if they want to take a chance on two little kids.
Take a chance on me.
Take a chance on me.
And then after that one would be Dark Star.
Nice.
And that's Dogs in a Pile again.
Yeah, there's
Dark
gonna
Star.
be 2026 is our year of Dogs in a Pile.
This year was Daniel Donato.
It was.
This will be Dogs.
Yeah, 6 or 7 times for Donato.
And then
Dark
damn, what's
Star
that
Jubilee.
band? That
So we have obviously Dark Star Orchestra,
Little
Little
Feat,
Feet,
yeah.
Melvin Seals, Peter Rowan, Sam Grisman Project, Kitchen Dwellers, Dogs in a Pile, Dawn of the Buffalo, that should be cool. The Wailers,
a couple other we don't know.
couple other that I don't know. Houseplant, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Fuck yeah. Yeah, that'll be super fun. That no matter the lineup, again, is gonna be one that we just don't miss anymore, just purely for the setup of it.
Yeah, and Three Nights at Dark Star. Like it's always, I feel like we listen to so much music now.
Yeah.
It's nice, and for me at least, it all started from the Grateful Dead, so it's nice to just like go back to that thing.
Well, for me, it started with you introducing me to the Grateful Dead. So it is kind of like a bit of a grounding. Like,
Yeah,
it's a you and me experience, which
yeah,
I
it's
really
nice to just like
about
go
it.
back to the roots of what we like as far as music goes.
Run around, get dirty, have
And
fun.
that venue's sick too.
Venue is so cool, and we're gonna bring a wagon. I need a bigger wagon than the one I got.
It's not that far though. It's only like 6 hours too. Wasn't it not that far?
The walk though was.
I know,
what
yeah, I
need
know the
wagon
wagon.
for.
The wagon doesn't mean you want to drive.
Yeah, it was about 6 hours. That sounds right.
And then after Dark Star is going to be the All Jammed Up Festival, July 18th and 19th.
Gonna be so fucking.
Still
good.
working on a lot of that. I hope to have some announcements out before the end of the year.
Yeah.
But we don't know for sure. But mark it on your calendar, 18th and 19th. As information gets solidified, we'll start teasing stuff. But this one's going to be way bigger than last year.
Much more of a production.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm like, super stoked for it.
Yeah. Gonna be killer.
And then we have the Grand Targhee one in Wyoming,
Ooh, okay,
which is
yes.
going to be a first for us.
Grand Targhee. How do I find out? Here we go. Okay, Marcus King Band. Lucas Nelson.
Hold on, you're looking at
Wait, hold
last
on.
year.
No, this says. Here we go. Sierra Farrell, Jesse Wells, Railroad Earth, The Devil Makes Three, Daniel Donato, Yonder Mountain String Band, Keller and the Keels, Brothers Comatose, Mountain Grass Unit, Shadowgrass, Lindsay Lou, Kyle Tuttle Band, Hog Slop String Band, and Magoo.
Those are some heaters right there.
That is going to be fucking insane. That is going to be so fun. It's in Wyoming. We plan to probably drive up.
Make a road trip out of it.
And then our sweet, sweet friend Grace plans to come as well. We'll probably stay with her for a bit in Montana after. I'm very excited. That's going to be like a whole ordeal of a trip for us, and I cannot wait.
And then I have Billy Huntsville and Halloween here, which we don't know the lineup of Halloween, but we'll be there.
But we'll be there. And Billy Huntsville, yeah.
We'll be there. And then maybe we can fit another Billy show in somewhere
We could
this
probably
year.
fit another run somewhere.
Atlanta, Nashville, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Tampa, St. Augustine.
St. Augustine would be good if he does it
Mm-hmm.
again. Isn't he doing somewhere else for 420 though? Wasn't that like the thing?
I think you could be right, yeah, but maybe he renewed his contract. I don't know.
Maybe. I think he did his 3. Isn't it like 3 years?
Word
or
on the
something?
street is that Halloween is the weekend before Halloween this year.
Yeah, and if that is the case, you will catch us at Billy
Yeah.
Ween next year. I really want to go. That would be so sick. But think about, so it would probably be Billy Huntsville. I don't know if he'll do it the same time of year.
I mean, he could do Billy Huntsville in Baltimore the next weekend. It's not that
But for
far.
us, it would be Billy Huntsville, Halloween, Billy Ween.
I think we'd probably have to give up one or something. Would we? Huntsville, probably, right? I mean, I would probably do 3 nights at Huntsville.
Well,
I mean,
Why?
we're just speculating too right now. We don't know anything.
we're just playing. That's a whole year away. But I'm so excited for it.
I know. I mean, we get in
No,
less
I mean-
than 3 months.
I know.
4 Billy String
with all
shows.
of our friends. My mom and dad are going to be at the, what is it, the 10th and 11th and then 13th and 14th? I think so. They're
Yeah,
gonna
that
be at the
sounds right.
show on the 10th.
I feel like he's gonna show out for the weeknight shows, but maybe that's just me being what I want.
Maybe he might be a bit more localized for the weeknights.
That would be cool.
Like go with a bit more traditional bluegrass music, and then the
Oh, I thought you meant
weekends.
localized, like sit in somewhere locally after the show.
I mean, yeah, that would be insane. Sit in with Sons of Stars
I
wherever
think
they
he's playing
play.
with. I think Stickley's playing a late night show, and I imagine he might pop out there. And I think Shadowgrass is doing one too.
Yeah.
You should probably buy a ticket to that Shadowgrass one before they sell out, like MGU.
Oh, you do know what I did buy the other day that we didn't put down?
Mm.
Goose
For my birthday.
for your birthday.
Yeah, so all the guys that were like Goose hater, Goose hater, Goose hater.
We're celebrating his birthday with them, guys.
I'm going to Goose for my birthday, so shut up, okay?
So
Shut up. And guess what? If they suck again, I'll be back on the
on the hate
anti-Goose
train,
train.
okay? It's not that hard for our train to derail. We change
But I'm
tracks.
optimistic.
I have a good
I
feeling.
think Cadre has a lot to do with it too.
You think so?
I mean, the only time they weren't good is when,
Is when they were in that kerfuffle.
yeah, I read about to fire their drummer. So,
Did you ever read the book Knuffle Bunny?
nope.
It was a really nice one I liked as a kid.
Alrighty, that's our cue. I think that's our cue. So, go check out the playlist. There will be a total of 8 songs on it now.
7 of them are glitches.
It's only 5 out of 8. That's not that crazy. So go check out the playlist. It's in the description here. We'll be back on another episode on Monday with. Do I want to tell you guys?
You do that every week. I
Well,
feel.
sometimes because usually if I know who, like, I have an idea who it's going to be Monday.
Yeah,
But I might change it because I have 3 interviews before then.
Yeah.
So it's gonna keep it a secret. Yeah, I'll keep it a secret. Stay tuned for Monday's episode. Have a great weekend, guys, and remember, wherever you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Well, all jammed up, hey, that's where it's going down. Best damn pot in this old Asheville town. More than enough old stories to go around. And I'm all jammed up right now. Yes, I'm all jammed up right now.